sitting here in the same spot he used to read every Sunday morning. The sunlight still hits the corner of the couch just right, like it's trying to warm the part of me that's been cold for months. In my hand is the letter I found in the drawer after the funeral, creased, stained with tears, and probably read 100 times now. His handwriting was always so neat. Like him. Careful. Gentle. Intentional. I remember that night like it just happened. He turned to me with those soft, tired eyes and asked, "Could we just be close again? One last time?" And I brushed him off. "I'm tired," I said. "It's been a long day." He nodded, like he always did when I shut him out. He didn't argue. He never did. He just smiled that sad little smile and said, "Okay." He didn't ask again. The next morning, he was gone. Not emotionally, physically. Permanently. I used to think people left because they were angry, or because they didn't care anymore. But now I know there's something worse, when they leave still loving you, and you're the one who pushed them out without realizing it. This isn't a story about cheating, or lying, or any kind of big betrayal. This is a story about all the small rejections. All the times I turned away from his hand. All the nights I avoided his eyes. All the ways I made him feel unloved without even realizing it. It's about how withholding affection, emotional, physical, even spiritual, can become its own kind of cruelty. He asked me one last time if we could just be close. Not for sex. Not out of obligation. But because he needed to feel like I still saw him. Still loved him. And I said no. I wish I could go back. I wish I had dropped everything, taken his face in my hands, and reminded him how deeply I loved him. Because I did. I just forgot how to show it. But love not shown is love not felt. And now, he's gone. Forever. This is my story, not because I'm proud of it, but because if one person hears it and decides to stop pushing someone away they love, maybe it won't end like mine did. I met Ryan when I was 26. He was the kind of man who asked how your day was, and actually listened. Late 30s, always had a little stubble, soft brown eyes, and this calm way about him. Like he'd seen chaos but chose stillness. We met at a friend's wedding. I spilled wine on my dress, and he offered me his linen napkin, then somehow had me laughing 5 minutes later about completely unrelated things. That was his magic. He could make the world quieter. We fell fast. I had always been guarded, cautious. But with Ryan, I exhaled for the first time in years. He was romantic in ways that felt effortless. Midnight drives with the windows down, dancing barefoot in our living room, handwritten notes tucked into my lunch bag. He wasn't flashy. He was steady. And God, did he need steady. We got married less than 2 years later. Our first apartment was tiny, but we didn't care. We'd lie awake just talking, dreaming, planning our future in whispers. But time does what it does. I started climbing at work. New responsibilities. Longer hours. Stress I couldn't shake off. Suddenly, I was always tired. Always too busy. Ryan would wait up for me with takeout and candles, and I'd just sigh and say, "Not tonight, babe. I need a shower." At first, he tried. He planned a surprise weekend getaway. Booked a cabin in the mountains. Brought wine, games, even printed our wedding vows. But even then, I remember scrolling through work emails in bed while he tried to rub my shoulders. He never raised his voice. Never accused me of anything. Instead, he got quieter. He started cooking dinner, leaving it covered, and going for long walks alone. He never said, "You're neglecting me." But his silence said enough. And still, I didn't snap out of it. I kept telling myself, this is normal. People get comfortable. This is just life. But I was wrong. Because one night, as I folded laundry, Ryan looked at me across the room. He didn't say it with anger or desperation, just quiet sincerity. Do you still find me attractive? I laughed awkwardly. Of course I do, Ree. Then I changed the subject. Asked him if he'd seen the missing sock from the dryer. He nodded and didn't ask again. But I felt it, that tiny crack in the foundation. I ignored it. Because I thought love could survive on autopilot. But what I didn't know was, Ryan was already fading from me, and I was the one dimming the light. It didn't happen all at once. It was a slow, invisible unraveling. Ryan started sleeping on the couch more often, said he didn't want to wake me when he came to bed late. But I knew it wasn't about that. It was about space. Or maybe the fact that I never reached for him anymore. I'd find letters in my nightstand. Soft, folded pages in his neat handwriting. Always starting with, just wanted to say I love you. I didn't read most of them. I was always too tired. Or too numb. They're still in there now, unopened. That's the part one can't forgive myself for. He kept trying. Date nights. Dinner reservations. That concert I mentioned once and forgot. I cancelled every single one. We'll go next week, I'd say. But next week never came. Then, one night, it was quiet. Too quiet. We'd just finished dinner. Stir fry, I think. We barely spoke. The clink of forks was louder than our words. And then he looked up. Really looked at me. His voice was barely above a whisper. Could we just be close again? Just one last time. It wasn't crude. There was no demand in it. Just this quiet ache. I froze. My body tensed. My mouth spoke before my heart could catch up. I'm not a machine you can turn on and off, Ryan, I snapped. I can't just perform because you miss me. I'm tired. He didn't defend himself. He didn't raise his voice or argue. He just looked at me. That look. The one I still see in dreams. Then he nodded slowly. Like something inside him gave up. I'm sorry, he said. That was it. He slept on the couch again that night. I stayed in bed, staring at the ceiling, feeling something. Guilt. Resentment. Exhaustion. I don't even know anymore. The next morning, I woke up to silence. No coffee brewing. No shower running. Just a note on the kitchen counter. I can't keep trying when I already feel invisible. I love you. I always have, Ryan. I thought he just needed space. I figured he'd cool off and come back. He always did. That night passed. Then 2. Then 5. Then I got the call. His best friend. Voice shaking. I'm so sorry. Ryan had a brain aneurysm. It was sudden. He didn't make it. I dropped the phone. I never said yes. I never held him that one last time. And now, I never will. The call came on a Wednesday afternoon. I was in the middle of a meeting when my phone buzzed. It was Melissa, Ryan's oldest friend. I almost let it go to voicemail, but something in me, something instinctual, told me to pick up. Her voice was shaking. Hey, can you sit down? I already was, but my knees buckled anyway. He's gone, she said. Ryan, he had an aneurysm. 2 days ago. It was sudden. Instant. They said he probably didn't even feel it. The room spun. My mouth opened but no sound came out. I dropped the phone. Collapsed right there on the office carpet, in front of everyone. I don't remember who carried me out. I just remember the sound that came out of me, like something had torn loose from my chest and screamed on its own. I went home that night to silence. The kind that hums in your ears and makes you want to scream just to fill the air. I called his phone even though I knew. Straight to voicemail. I left a message anyway. Please come home, Ryan. Please. I didn't mean it. I'm sorry. I love you, I love you, I love you. I sat on the floor by the front door, waiting. As if maybe he'd walk in with that half smile and a bag of takeout like nothing had happened. But he didn't. Days later, I opened the drawer next to his side of the bed, the one I hadn't touched in months. Inside was a small black leather journal. His journal. I almost didn't read it. I was scared of what I'd find. But I did. Page after page, entries written late at night when I was already asleep or away at work. He wrote about feeling unwanted, lonely, like he was watching our love slowly starve. But he never once blamed me. I know she's tired. I know she's hurting, too. I just wish she'd let me in again. Sometimes I wonder if she knows I still think she's the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. Tonight I asked if we could be close again. She said no. I understand. But God, I miss her. I clutched the journal to my chest and sobbed so hard I thought my ribs would break. It hit me all at once, he wasn't asking for sex. He was asking if I still loved him. And I didn't say yes. A week after the funeral, I still couldn't bring myself to clean out his things. His shoes were still by the door. His favorite hoodie still draped over the back of the couch. I kept telling myself if I just left everything the same, maybe none of it was real. But grief doesn't wait for permission. One night, I opened his journal again. I don't even know why, maybe I just wanted to hear his voice, somehow. Near the back, there was a page folded over, thicker than the others. I pulled it out and found a letter in an envelope. It was labeled, "If I'm ever not here, please read this." My hands shook as I opened it. His handwriting was calm, deliberate, like he knew exactly what he wanted to say. My love, if you're reading this, I guess life had other plans. First, don't blame yourself. I know you. You'll try to. You'll say you pushed me away. But the truth is, I always felt close to you, even when you didn't say it out loud. I know you were tired. I know you were overwhelmed. I know you forgot how to let yourself be soft. That's okay. I never needed you to be perfect. I just needed a moment. One moment where we remembered how much we loved each other. I asked to be close one last time, not because I wanted something from you, but because I wanted to leave you with something, a memory. A feeling. A reminder that I never stopped seeing you, the real you, even when you couldn't see yourself. I love you, always. Ryan. I couldn't breathe. I pressed the letter to my heart like it would somehow bring him back. Tears soaked the page. He never stopped loving me. Not for 1 second. A few days later, I went looking for a charger in his nightstand, and found a small white envelope taped to the inside of the drawer. 2 plane tickets. Rome. Departure date, our anniversary. Just 2 weeks away. He had planned a surprise trip. A 5-year vow renewal. And I'd been too busy, too cold, too disconnected to notice. I collapsed to the floor, holding those tickets and whispering over and over, "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." Because he didn't leave me. Life did, but I'm the one who pushed him out before it was over. It's been 9 months now. I go to a grief support group every Wednesday evening. At first, I sat in the back, silent, arms crossed, heart locked up like a vault. Now, I speak. Not every time, but when I do, I tell them about Ryan. About how he never yelled. About how he showed love in the quietest ways. About how I didn't see it until it was too late. I journal now. Every morning. Sometimes I write to him. Sometimes I write to the version of myself I was when he died, cold, exhausted, emotionally absent. I'm trying to forgive her. I visit his grave every Sunday. I bring his favorite coffee, black with 2 sugars, and sit beside the stone in silence. Not to talk. Just to be near. There are days when the guilt hits me like a wave, and I let it. But there are also days now when the memory of him brings something softer. Peace. Gratitude. Warmth. About 2 months ago, I met someone new. No one serious. Just kind. Present. He knows about Ryan. He knows I'm still healing. I'm not trying to replace Ryan. I could never. But I am trying to honor him, by never making the same mistake again. By choosing to show up, even when I'm tired. By remembering that love doesn't survive on good intentions, it survives on expression. Because if I've learned anything, it's this: don't wait to be intimate. And I don't just mean sex. I mean the soft brush of fingers as you pass in the kitchen. The look across the room that says, "I still see you." The whispered, "Come here." Just for a moment. Don't make people beg to feel loved. Don't make them ask if they're still beautiful. Don't make them wonder if your silence means distance or comfort. Love loudly. Love fully. Even when it feels inconvenient. Especially then. Because when Ryan asked me to be close one last time, he wasn't asking for my body. He was asking for my heart. And I said no. If someone asks you that, asks to feel close, don't push them away. Because you never know what one last time really means. Fade out, a quiet room. Her suitcase half packed. She opens the envelope again, 2 plane tickets to Italy. She slips one into her journal. Closes it. The other, she leaves on Ryan's grave. Unused. But not forgotten.